Hello and welcome. We've all been there, right? You have this brilliant idea at work, something you just know is a game changer, and then it just fizzles out. Well, today we're going to unpack that crucial journey an idea has to take to become a real funded project. Let's dive in.
So, let's start with the big nagging question. Why is it that so many genuinely good, innovative ideas just die on the vine? I mean, sure, you can blame bad timing or maybe a lack of support, but there's usually one single, much better reason behind it all. And here it is. The single biggest reason is the lack of a strong, convincing business case. Now, don't think of this as just more paperwork. Think of it as the champion for your idea. It's the strategic argument for its very existence.
At its heart, a business case is actually pretty simple. It's a formal argument, sure, but its job is to answer the one question every single executive is going to ask. Why should we spend our limited time, our limited money, and our limited people on this project over all the other options?
So, with that in mind, let's follow an idea on its journey, all the way from just a concept to a fully approved, funded project.
Great ideas rarely just appear out of thin air. They're almost always a direct response to something real happening in the world. It could be a competitor making a new move, a customer begging for a new feature, or maybe just an old system that is so slow it's painful. The point is, every great project starts with a very clear need.
Okay, so our idea has been born from a real business need. Now, it immediately faces its first and, honestly, its most important hurdle, the strategic alignment test. This is the very first gatekeeper.
Before a single dollar is calculated, before anyone even thinks about return on investment, the idea has to answer this one simple question. If a project doesn't directly help the company get where it's trying to go, well, it's already on really shaky ground.
And the difference here couldn't be more stark. Projects that are aligned with the company's strategy, they're tough, they're sustainable, they get support, and they push the whole organization forward. But those unaligned projects, they are incredibly fragile, they're politically vulnerable, and you can bet they're the very first thing on the chopping block when budgets get tight.
Okay, our idea passed the strategy test. Fantastic. Now it's time to actually build the argument that's going to convince decision makers to give it the green light. The best business cases, the ones that really work, they follow a powerful narrative, a story. First, you paint a vivid picture of the problem. Then, you introduce your project as the hero of the story, the solution. You follow that up by clearly spelling out the tangible benefits, being totally honest about the costs and risks, and then finally, you make your clear, data-backed recommendation. It's a compelling story, not just some boring list of facts.
Now, when we talk about cost, it's so easy to just focus on that initial price tag. But a professional business case looks at the big picture, the total cost of ownership, or TCO. That initial implementation cost, as you can see, it's often less than half the story. You have to factor in everything, the ongoing maintenance, user training, support, all of it, the full cost over the project's entire life.
And here's a crucial mistake you have to avoid. Never present just one option. A really strong business case always analyzes alternatives. And that includes the often overlooked option of doing nothing at all. Showing that you thought through other paths gives decision makers huge confidence that your recommendation is the right one.
All right, our business case is done, it's solid, it tells a great story. But the journey isn't over, not even close. Now it enters what I like to call the selection gauntlet, where it has to compete against all the other great ideas for a limited pool of resources.
Now, a table like this might look a little complicated, but its purpose is actually really simple. It's trying to make a big decision as objective as possible. Committees use these scoring models to weigh all the different factors. And notice how strategic fit and financial value are weighted the most heavily. In this example, Project A wins, not because it has the highest financial value, but because it strikes the best balance between strategy, value, and manageable risk.
Success. Our project got the green light, it's funded. But getting that approval isn't the end of the story. What happens next is just as critical as everything that came before.
This is where a key partnership comes into play. You have the project sponsor, this person owns the business case and is accountable for the why. They're the one who has to make sure the promised value actually gets delivered. And then you have the project manager who takes over the how, delivering the project on time and on budget. You absolutely need both of them for a project to succeed. It's a team effort. And this is the final crucial thing to remember. The business case doesn't just get filed away in a cabinet somewhere after it's approved. It becomes a living document. It's the yardstick, the baseline that we use to measure the project's ultimate success. Did we actually save the money we promised? Do we actually get the new customers we said we would? The business case is what holds everyone accountable for the results.
So, as we wrap this up, I'm going to leave you with this question for your own work. It's pretty easy to come up with ideas that are desirable, right? But the real challenge, the one a great business case forces you to answer, is proving that your idea is also deliverable, truly valuable, and strategically vital. Thanks for tuning in.